What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the stream. Phoenix here in the airport, as you can see, doing it live. So I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody is excited. We are Juning. June 1st is upon us. So I'm really excited to actually have the opportunity to get out here and meet some other like-minded EOS personalities and just followers of EOSIO. What's going on, Rezi? Shout out to the gang and everything EOS, everybody in EOS community actually. So I actually flew into Denver. I had to because there was no flight into DC directly. Otherwise, I would have been paying like 3 times the cost. So I ended up staying in Denver for a little bit and then making my way out to DC. But I guess I wanted to talk about some more thoughts on what they might be announcing, and I'm talking about Block 1, obviously. There's been a lot of talk about social networking type applications. There's been, I'm actually I'm in the airport right now, literally. So exciting times. But I think, with the announcement for Coinbase, Coinbase onboarding EOS, I think what you might actually see in the future is something like an AOL like moment for blockchain. I think EOS has the potential to do that. And if you guys remember, I know we have the gang is very diverse in terms of its age groups and people from all over the world. But if you think about it, AOL at one time was like one of the biggest companies in the internet. They actually, arguably, in my opinion, were like the initial glue for the internet in terms of getting new users onboarded, because at that time the internet was very challenging to use. People just didn't have the education, right, on how to navigate through the internet. But when AOL came out, they came out with these CDs and these diskettes, and you basically install on your computer, and then it gave you access to core things we take for granted now that back in the day were a big deal. So examples would be like games, email, chat was huge on AOL. And so they actually initially started with this walled garden. And I think what we might see in the future is something like a Coinbase, something like an exchange, actually playing the role of kind of like an AOL, like a custodian. So instead of Coinbase just holding your coins and you buying coins from Coinbase, in the future you could actually have Coinbase, Gemini, the Poloniex, the Bitfinexes of the world, the Binances of the world, actually serve as custodian providers for services like DeFi type applications. So you're going to see a melding pot of exchanges act like banks, but then also have this second layer for not only onboarding users into EOS to acquire tokens, but to onboard them so that they can actually use the services and applications. Because right now you haven't actually seen that. Right now, a lot of the people who are on Coinbase simply are buying coins and they hold them on Coinbase, and there's no interaction with the users. But with something like EOS and maybe this partnership, or not necessarily partnership, but at least Coinbase's willingness to list EOS, I think that relationship will eventually evolve towards these exchanges actually providing much more of these services that are actually needed for them to interact with the applications. So you're going to have we talked about an Uber. I mean, this was like a year and a half ago. I think we made videos on this stuff in the gang with all types of slide decks. And if you guys are interested in that, definitely check out my channel. Go back in the history. Go back like a year and a half, because we have it all documented there. But what I think you're going to see is that kind of like that PayPal layer, where PayPal was used as a payment processor between users on like an eBay, and they provided some guarantees or some assurances on the ability for one person to pay another person. And obviously they absorbed a lot of the risk that is involved in a lot of these ventures. So I think that would be the likely role for the likes of a Coinbase or a Binance. And I'd love to hear what you guys think about that, because I think it's certainly very likely in the next in the next year you might hear about an announcement being made like that. So it looks like we have some folks joining our chat here. What's up, Rob Moore? I'd love to know also if anybody's going to be here or coming to DC. Again, right now I'm in Denver. I'm kind of making my way because I had to take some very low budget flights to DC. So I flew from Phoenix to Denver, and it was like there was only like one ticket left, and it was like some odd times. So I got here at midnight last night, and then I had to work as well. And then I got up in the morning, went to bed, and then got up in the morning, and now I'm waiting for the flight to DC as we speak. So yeah, it's been an amazing adventure, and for me, it's I want to say also that for the community and for all of crypto, actually, even outside of EOS, this is kind of like a graduation for us, for a lot of people, okay? For a lot of people in the communities, because you can see the community is getting stronger, they're becoming more immune to FUD, and also the knowledge of the blockchains is increasing. I can see it in the community as I interact with people, and their thinking's also evolving beyond the interest of, the coin mooning, and people are starting to talk about issues like governance, talk about applications, building our own applications. I'm one of those people that I don't do it full time, but when I have time, I go to a coffee shop and I do the Everything EOS development series because I think it's very valuable to know the core components that make up an application. It doesn't mean I'm going to come out with a Resident Evil type game or anything crazy like that, or a GTA game. But there's a lot of value in having an understanding of how these solutions are built, and being able to converse or explain that, to other people is very valuable. So, what are you guys? I mean, I'd love to know what are some of the things that you guys are working on, and what really excites you, I guess, that you guys would anticipate coming into the space. Because Jen says, I was thinking about going to DC, lucky you. Are you going to have live stream set up? I'm going to try to do my very best to have some type of streaming set up. I brought the laptop with me, so and I have some phones all charged up. Obviously, at the if you get a chance to go to that event itself, I think they already put out some game rules that say that obviously we can't do any recordings there. But what I do plan to do is after the event, if you guys are up, either during the event and I'm not in the event, like I'm not officially invited, or if after the event, I will do some type of a stream. So definitely stay tuned to my channel. I will keep you guys updated on the latest and greatest that goes on, the happenings here. But I think it's, beyond the news, it's just a good opportunity to network with people within the EOS space. And I think arguably, and shout out to Feez for having the video in which he interviewed some notable folks that mentioned basically, and I don't want to take away the thunder from his video, but basically this particular individual said, if you care about crypto, you should be in DC. So that to me said a lot. It says that this is really something game changing, I think was the term that was used. And so for me, that was enough to FOMO in and see what was going on. So I don't really know what it will be. I'm hoping that at some point in the roadmap, they're going to announce a solution that allows someone like my mom, right, to gain access to this in a safe way. It is safe now, but I'm saying like maybe with the added assurances. So also the social media platforms, but I guess what I'm thinking more is general purpose tools, like maybe not so much a product itself, but general purpose tools that an entrepreneur, right? The Yang Gang, there's a bunch of entrepreneurs, people who are opportunists, right? There's nothing wrong with that. That's what we need in society, that are going to build better systems to compete against the legacy companies and institutions. That's really what we need. And I do agree with you guys. I think what Rezi said, it's coming. I'm hoping it's coming, and I'm hoping that it gives everybody an opportunity to uh, to benefit, right? What's going on, Crypto Feez? Crypto Feez, he made it on my channel. Thanks for tuning in. I hope your day's going well. And I mentioned to you that we'd be right here with you, so I'm trying to do my best to do some streaming. I'm in Denver right now. I flew in here. Actually, a pretty nice airport, really huge though. So it took me a while to get navigated. I've actually never flew into Denver, and yeah, just getting started. Yeah, I was up at 5 actually this morning, like 4:35. I was gonna go out for a run, but I just ended up sleeping in a little bit more. But I am doing the fast, guys. I'm not endorsing this product, but this is what I got going on. I got the Kavita. This is like a vinegar tonic apple cider. It's actually pretty good with some turmeric. So that's my breakfast. I got some almonds. That's all I could find. That was legit, you know, all right to eat in the airport space. So I guess I'll just be doing a fast all the way through. But yeah, everything's yeah, kombucha, exactly. Yeah, but it's hard to find. You know what, guys? It's hard to find good kombucha. Like sometimes you'll find a kombucha, but a lot of them have like a lot of sugars in them. So I had to find a version here that basically had no added sugar, no added cane sugar or anything. Because they like to sneak that in to, I guess, to make it taste better. But I just prefer my my stuff without sugars, because the sugars actually do a lot of harm to the body. So lots of water and other stuff. Jin asked, have you guys gotten any other hints that Apple may be involved beyond the iOS wallet? You know, I gotta say, I think that's unlikely, in my opinion, that Apple would be involved directly as a partnership. Would they have some involvement to help the ecosystem, or maybe provide a nod to a submitted SDK or application? I could see that, but I don't think there would be a direct partnership with Apple at this time. I think that's probably risky for both enterprises, and so I think you will see some neutrality on that, because you have to think strategically from the perspective of Apple. We love EOS, you know, we love Bitcoin, we love, you know, there's all these things that we know as crypto holders, but the general large enterprise company like Apple, you know, they may be looking at the space much more broad and playing their cards closer to their chest, in which they don't want to try to pick a winner. And so if they were to, you know, early on right now, mention that they're going to partner with somebody like EOS, it could be a good thing, but it could also be very detrimental to their strategies moving forward. So I personally don't expect to hear of any of these formal partnerships. I think what you'll see is something a little bit different. Resi asks, Apple ain't what she used to be though. Apple is different. It is evolving, but again, I think Apple is moving from. They're in a transition state, just like a lot of businesses, and you're seeing a lot of legacy institutions go away. Unfortunately, right? Everything has its life cycle, and so Apple and Facebook are no different. And a lot of people were early on in this whole discussion space. We're talking about how, I guess, they wanted to hear of a partnership with Facebook and EOS, you know, like, or Block One. I'm sorry, Block One and Facebook doing something. And I mean, when you think about it, I would ask you guys this: when in the past has a legacy institution made a partnership with a new company? It doesn't often happen, actually, when you think about it. I mean, if you think about, for example, AOL, we'll go back to that example. AOL at one time was a very big, a big company, right? They were very influential in the internet space. Everybody had CDs. I remember using the CDs and repurposing different CDs so I could get internet access, so my mom didn't have to pay for the internet, right? And that evolved to Yahoo, and from Yahoo we went to Google, and so you're seeing, and there was smaller ones in there too, or major ones. We had the Netscapes, right, of the world, and we had the Alta Vistas of the world. So you had a lot of these browsers and a lot of these systems, but none of them had the vision of maybe like a Google. None of them nobody saw maybe the true promise of like a Facebook. Even though Facebook right now is in the condition it's in, we have to recognize the influence it's had in the space. But did we see any legacy institutions like seek them out and partner with them? Not really. And so why would we expect something like crypto to be any different? And so I think the fact that we're not seeing partnerships isn't necessarily a surprising thing when you think about history. So anyways, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, guys. I hope everybody's doing well. Shout out to Sonata Systems, who's joined the stream, and everybody else, Jin Lin. EOS Apologist actually put out a video yesterday. Did you guys have the opportunity to view his video? Shout out to EOS Apologist, who I hope is tuning into this. I hope you're doing well, brother. And I think he's anticipating a new addition to his family, so congratulations to you.